Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Mills podcast and YouTube channel. We're currently doing a series called 10 Questions with the Mills, where we get to know our Mills community better through asking each of our guests 10 questions about themselves. My name is Lofani Tani, and I'm an engagement coordinator at the Mills International Center, and I will be your host for today. Today, we are joined by none other than the wonderful Donia. Hello, Donia.
Hi, Lofani Tani. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. It's so good to see you again and be able to talk with you, at least virtually. I know it's not ideal, but we're making it.
Thank you so much for joining us. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Donia, and I'm a third-year architecture student at the University of Oregon. I'm from Egypt. Position in the Mills, I am a resource consultant, and I've been recently working as a graphic designer. So I've been recently promoted. Yay!
And Donia is also part of ICSP.
Yeah, International Cultural Service Program.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Donia, for introducing yourself. Again, thank you for being here today. Without further ado, I guess I will get to our 10 questions. What is one thing you do for self-care?
The first thing that occurred to my mind is dancing, because I usually listening to music and dancing are kind of inseparable two activities. So whenever I listen to music, I especially like music that from Egypt, it has this drum thing and things that can make me basically belly dance. That's what I do. So I usually dance, or just take a break, 10-minute break, and listen to music. And after that, I get, hyperactive to dance.
And how long have you been dancing for?
I've been doing this since in middle school. Really, I didn't, I wasn't that good at belly dancing when I was in middle school, but I was just, because no one is watching. So I just kept getting better in my room. And I kept getting, also, I think it has to do with how I feel in body image. And I'm getting deep too soon, but I feel like when you're, there is the shame around, women dancing, especially in where I'm from, expressing our bodies, being comfortable in our bodies and moving them and shaking them and all that. It's whoa, scandalous, big deal, So as I feel as I got older, I became more comfortable in my body, and the shame has grown smaller, or become smaller. And that allowed me to do better, I guess, when I dance.
Is there a certain feeling that dancing gives you? I also know that I love to dance, and I feel like I do the same exact thing. I just feel really free. So how does that as a self-care thing make you feel in the moment?
As you said, I feel free. I feel less stressed. I feel that I am in control. I'm grounded, not everything is in place. I'm in control. It's a false sense of in control, but I'll take it. I'm fine with it.
Imagine yourself in 3 years. What do you hope will be different about you then compared to now?
I'm hoping, personally, on a personal level, is to become more flexible and ready to change whatever situation, to see the good in everything, and try to not stress out about things that has, everything has a way out, Sometimes get these feelings. I know we just talked earlier about that the world, it feels so small, but it's really not. And it's just, I'm imprisoned in that moment. And I just need more of that affirmations or kind of mindset to be stronger in my personality. It's really the biggest personal goal, I'd say, for the next 3 years, or I'd hope so. It would be different in the next 3 years.
What do you think is one action that you can implement in your life to do that?
for now, all I can say is like affirmations. Like I've been practicing telling myself affirmations, but things I also kind of believe to be true. I know some people tell affirmations, but even if they don't believe it, but I kind of find it hard for now to tell myself things that I don't really believe, but I try to focus on things that I kind of believe, positive things. Like, for example, we were discussing earlier, what if like I didn't graduate in time, I got deferred like one term or something. I can tell myself that there is so many ways that I can make this better. I can do an internship. I can prepare better for an opportunity to get work permit in the US during that time and have a lot of time to get all the paper done and all that without being that stressed. These are like manageable affirmations that I can tell myself.
What is your favorite song at the moment?
That's a tricky question, but there is this Greek song, and I'm gonna pronounce this really wrong. It's called Philo na mi Niosis. That is definitely wrong pronunciation. It's a Greek song. I heard it one time on a shuffle. I was typing Mediterranean music and this came on and I was working out. I like it because it makes me feel like it's a little bit sad, but not the kind of like dramatic sad. It's more like, you're sad, but you're also happy to listen to, or like it makes me a little bit emotional, but in a good way, not like in a bad way, even though I don't understand what's being said, like it's in Greek. And I refuse to see the translation because I like the meaning I made in my head for the song. I feel like I'd be disappointed when I translate it. So I'm just letting it be as what I think it is in my head and not translating it, just enjoying the music and, how the language sounds.
I totally agree. And I also feel like I listen to music that is like not in languages that I know. And for some reason, some of those songs feel more powerful because I don't know what they're saying, but like the way that they make me feel is like a totally different thing. Even though I don't know anything that's going on, I don't know what the narrative is about, just like the way that they make you feel is just...
Exactly. Yeah. And you kind of don't want to lose that when you translate it, some of that magic that makes you feel when you hear these songs in a different language, it will like go away when you just know what they're saying.
Exactly. Like I've already put this narrative in my head. I know what my narrative song is. And then once you listen to it, it could be about something totally different. You're like, that's not what I was thinking. And like creative, I feel like it's a very creative thing as well. What is one thing in your life that you are very proud of?
My biggest achievement is just coming to the US and studying in the US. Because for me, like if you tell me when I was like 15 that you're gonna study in the US on a full scholarship, I would laugh. Like I wouldn't believe it. I didn't have any indicators back then. I didn't know anyone who did that in an undergraduate level in my circle. The city I was living in was pretty small. Like it was in the capital city. There wasn't I taught myself English. I didn't depend on anyone. I just took the whole project over my, I just started this applications and scholarship search thing all on my own at age of started looking at age of 17 or something, taking all the standardized tests. I didn't really know what I was doing. It was just so hard because I had no reference, like no one to give me advice what to do and what not to do. And if they're like hundreds of kilometers away because they're in the capital city, at least not in like my small city. I didn't know anyone around me who'd do that. And if I did, there is like one example that I know, and he is first a boy, of course not a girl, and he went to like Turkey or something like that. So it wasn't even it wasn't my goal, That's the furthest anyone I know in my circle has ever gone. So yeah, I would say that is my biggest achievement.
What would you say is one thing that motivates you, and why does it motivate you?
Can it be a person? have a thing. It's more like my dad, actually. He gives me a lot of support. We have a really strong relationship. We're really close friends, and he understands like my goals. He sacrificed a lot of things for me, and he guided me a lot. So I guess he always is on my mind when I think of motivation, the word motivation, you know.
Thank you for bringing up the person as well, because my original question was like, what motivates you? But at the same time, people can be very inspirational and very motivational.
Yeah, thank you.
What do you want to do in 10 years?
Honestly, I was thinking like, oh, should I tell like an answer, anything, like just the normal answer, just should I be honest? And I decided to be honest. I don't like setting such huge goals. Like I don't think, what am I gonna do in like 5 years or something? Because it's not always what turns out to be. Like I feel whenever I set timelines, it just, things happen and I feel I lose control, and I feel like time is kind of, I feel like I'm enslaved by time, you know. But what's been working for me better is setting small goals or goals in general, and one thing at a time, and not thinking in time range. So not thinking by 30 I should have a house, or I should get married, or whatever, you know, kind of goals. No, it's more like one thing at a time. And you know, it's been working well for me. Like for example, I didn't plan to move to the graphic designer role until like I decided to beforehand in last year. And I said I will try it out first, and if it works, then I'll take it as a position. If it doesn't, then that's fine. So I didn't plan it once I applied to the mills. You know, it's one step at a time, and I feel that's at least what's working for me right now at the moment, especially at this very moment when we don't know anything for sure in this crazy time.
What is one thing that you are good at?
I'm gonna go with belly dancing. Yeah, it's one thing that I do that I'm fully stress-free, that I don't follow any rules or any, you know, guidance or anything. It's just completely me doing whatever I feel like, whatever my body tells me. So that's why I feel like I'm good at it.
What did you want to be when you were younger?
So ironically, I wanted to be an architect, which I'm, you know, in architecture school right now, but not because it was anything, you know, that I was interested in architect. I barely knew what does it mean, but because the word architect in Arabic sounded good to me. So it's muhandis or muhandisa if it's a girl, and I liked how it sounds. So I was going around telling people that I'm gonna be muhandisa, and it sounds good. So people were like, you know, cheering me up. So like, why not?
If you could give your 10-year-old self advice, what would you say to yourself?
At 10, I was probably, the biggest thing that was annoying me is that I'm an only child. So I didn't have any siblings, and you know, I'd go to school and all people would have stories about their siblings and what kind of fun things they do at home and stuff like that. And it's not a common thing in Egypt to not have siblings. Like people usually have at least 2 kids. So I was kind of like the only person I know who was the only kid, you know? So I would tell myself to stop. Like I almost felt it's an embarrassing thing. You know, to that degree, like I felt an outsider. So I would definitely tell myself, like, relax. There is millions of people in the world who are an only child, and you're gonna know its advantages when you grow older.
What is the best advice you have ever been given?
I guess it's that I shouldn't stress about things that I can't control. That's the thing that I always, like, I received it once. It was actually, I haven't been given it, but like my roommate once, like she had this quote thing on her side of the bed, and I read it every day and I like it. So in a way it wasn't told to me, but in another way it was kind of like I woke up in the day and I see it for a whole term. So
well, those are our 10 questions. Thank you so much for your beautiful answers. You answered so well. We got to know you so much more, I feel like, and I got to know you a lot more, which is really great. And thank you for being here today.
Thank you so much, Lufani Tani. So great talking to you, as always.
Thank you for tuning in for our 10 questions with the Mills. Don't forget to subscribe to the Mills YouTube channel and podcast for more content. Also, check us out on social media at The Mills, which is also linked below in our description. Take care.